Warning, this video is not targeted to kids and may be inappropriate to younger audiences. Your discretion is advised. Hello, dudes and dudettes. It's your favorite Reject Gamer 17 here, and I am back once again for another Minecraft Lessons. I actually was not expecting to do this at all in the slightest. I was only told, I mean not told to do it exactly, but I was suggested to do this by a good friend of mine, TV Freak, if you've watched the Lunatic animation calls. Specifically, this design, she told me that I should totally do a video on, because apparently there's not that many people who do it, and I don't know. So here I am doing it, and I'm going to actually show two other things as well. Yes, we're going back to the potion route. Yes, I know, I already redid a potion making video, which I ended up making a mistake on, if I'm not mistaken, and I will clarify that later. For now, though, we're going to start off with the very first and more simpler one that everyone and their mother is abusing as of this moment when it comes to the new 1.18 update, and that's because of dripstone. These things save lives. I'm not even kidding on that. I managed to get so many buckets of lava because of this thing. Anywho, basically, it's just water, if I can fly, water source, block, dripstone into cauldrons full of already colorful potions. No, these are not dyes, these are legit potions. Like, that was not my intention. So much for that. But yes, as you can clearly see, other than from this one, potions of invisibility and potion of strength. This one was fire resistance, but that's gone. But yeah, I'm actually going to just go that far. I don't want to push it anymore, or else I'm going to run out and then I got to refill it. Yeah. So as you can clearly see, every cauldron only holds 3. But from what this thing allows you to do is that obviously allows water to keep dripping into it and making essentially infinite potions, even though technically it's also limited because you could only take 2 potions at a time before you run out. But yeah, this will essentially just refill by itself. Pretty cool mechanic. I personally don't use it because, well, I mean, I'm not really one to use this one. I have it more for lava because lava's not the most common resource in the overworld unless I have to travel far. But anywho, so this should eventually fill up again, and we'll come back to it later. Now then, moving on to the second design, it's actually this one. This one I created a few months ago as of recording this, and it was originally designed to be something similar to this, but the original design of that failed badly, like so badly it didn't even work. So this was the supplement. The thing about this one though is that it is very restrictive to one potion design only, and that is it. And the only way to add or remove anything is to go in, remove whatever it is you want to use, and remove that, and replace it with whatever, and add more. So it's not very useful for multi-potions, but it's useful for creating one potion. Now, why in the world would you want to do this? Well, it's because as a potion brewer myself, say I wanted to make a lingering potion of, where is it? Jump Boost 2. Can anyone tell me how that's actually done? No, because this is a recording. Sorry, I had something stuck in the back of my throat. Well, basically, in order to create such a potion, obviously you're going to need a brewing stand with water, with bottled waters. On top of that, you're going to need nether wart, rabbit's foot, glowstone, redstone. Actually, no, not redstone. Glowstone, gunpowder, and a lingering dragon's breath. That is a lot, and for you to have to stand here and put everything in it, that's also a lot. I mean, yeah, sure, you could just put a hopper and just put everything in there, but still, I figured why not just make a machine to do that for me? And that's what I did. So all of it will just, these are dispensers, by the way. Dispensers will throw everything into the hopper directly in front of them, and the hopper itself will just drop down. Could I simplify this thing? Yes. Do I want to? No. If you could, yeah, totally do it. I would love to see everyone else do it, because there's not many designs I've seen so far about this. Again, it's a very not that great design. But anywho, so to build this, I mean, as you can clearly see, it's really, really simplistic. It's super simplistic. And this is everything you're gonna need, just for this design specifically. The 3 hoppers, 3 dispensers, the 6 torches, including the stone, button, redstone, all that stuff. Yeah, it's just in this. For anyone who wants to actually take a better look at it, it's just this. It's very thin as well. It's a little long, I guess you can say, but it's very, very thin. And it could be quite tall. The maximum it can go as of height, because that's how potions work, is 5, and the smallest is 1, if I'm not mistaken, or 2. I think it's 2, yeah. But yeah, that is basically it. Oh yeah, and of course to show you everything that you're gonna need, I broke it down quite simply, specifically to this design. If you need more or if you need less, that'll obviously alter everything else. So 15 iron ingots, along with 24 of wood to make hoppers, because you need to make chests and have 5 iron to make hoppers. 3 cobblestone and a blaze rod for the brewing stand. 6 redstone dust and 6 wood planks of your choosing to make sticks, and then redstone torches. 3 bows along with 21 cobblestone and 3 redstone dust to make the dispensers. 3 redstone dust for the redstone line right here, redstone connection here, in fact, along with 1 stone to make the button, and 6 stone, or really 6 blocks that is redstone conductive of your choosing, to line up with the redstone torches like this. And yes, it has to start off with this specific way. The redstone has to go directly into the block, and redstone torch has to be right on the block as well. And all you have to do is just flip the button, and everything's already in there. Ta-da! And as you can clearly see, all the stuff just stays in here. And eventually this potion will brew, and you can do whatever you need to do while the potion brews. Don't mind the mess. This is my redstone field. And my building field is all the way over there, along with the other tests. Lessons. But yeah, as you can clearly see, it does it by itself, and once it's done, just pick up your potions, and off you go. Now, of course, this thing... well, it's something, of course. It's not the greatest of my designs when it comes to semi-self-automated stuff, but yeah. This is what I created a few months ago. Not the greatest. This is my pride and joy. This is what I'm actually proud of, because I finally got the design to work. After it failed me months ago, which is why I came up with that design. This design looks complicated, but I can assure you it really, really isn't. It's not heavy redstone, it's just buttons and droppers. That is it. As you can clearly see. In fact, if you're worried about this thing being bulky from up front, it really isn't. This thing is like 2 and then some pixels thick. Wait, 2 and some... No, 2 blocks and a trapdoor thick. That's it. Ignore the lectern, I'll come back to that. It's really not that big of a deal whatsoever. Even without all the extra hoppers and barrels, this thing is really still the same size due to the fact that it still needs a back. And I will explain to you why that is. That is because this thing takes power from water blocks. Yeah, that's it. This thing takes the power of water and flows all the items into a hopper, for which then it, well, does its thing. I messed that up completely. I cannot do this at all. And as you can clearly see, I named all of these potions for anyone who just wants to walk by and see which potions is connected to which button. And I think all these are filled up, if I'm not mistaken. No, doesn't look like it. Oh, here we go. Night vision is. Thank you. But yes, that is, how this whole thing is. To make this design specifically, if you want to have this machine to have less potions, just shorten it out by however many you need. If you want to make it more potions, you're gonna have to extend it. Really, this basically covers every single potion with the exception of one, that being Turtle Master. But I honestly have very strong opinions on Turtle Master potion. I don't like it. But yes, that is essentially it. So for this design specifically, what you would need to use without the extra hoppers and barrels is this monstrosity. Obviously, you need to make your brewing stand, which is 3 cobblestone and a blaze rod. You need a stack and 48. Wait, a stack. 1 stack, 48 cobblestone, 16 redstone dust for the droppers themselves, because there's a total of 16 droppers here for 10 potions and 6 extra ingredients, and I'll explain later why. Next up, you would need 16 technically blocks that will allow you to make buttons. In this case, since they're wooden buttons, any wood of your choosing, but you could also use stone and dark stone and what other types of stones that make buttons, I can't remember. But anything that makes buttons, you need 16 of them for this design specifically. And I'll be right back, I gotta cut. Alright, sorry for that awkward cut. Anywho, so, where was I? 16 buttons, yeah. Next up, what do we got? We got ourselves 36. Oh, Jesus, sorry, I think I just burped inside the mic. Excuse me. 36, just 36 wood of your choosing, specifically for the trapdoors that I have out front. Again, this is only for this design specifically because 6 wood ends up making 2 trapdoors for every single one, and this is only 11, so you're gonna have an extra trapdoor. Moving along, 5 ingots and 8 wood of your choosing, because of you still need 1 hopper to go straight into the brewing stand. Next up, this was a bit of a strange one because this is optional. But the others actually quite help. 16 leather and a stack of wood of your choosing, because you would need to make the item frames. Why would you need to make item frames? Simple, for anyone else who doesn't know which one is which. Again, this is the whole purpose of making this thing. And the other reason is to actually help out people who don't know how to brew potions and just make it simpler for them, and also to help those who do know how to make potions to do other things while the potion is brewing, because again, it takes time for it to brew. All the item frames are displayed the way that they are to know which buttons to press. The reason why the glow ink sack, and only 7, specifically 7, for this design is because it actually helps out prove my point that I tried to make earlier. That's the fact that I forgot to show that there is in fact another step to brewing in my brewing episode. That is, glowstone is what makes certain potions more powerful. For instance, leaping. If you was to only make a leaping potion, it would only last for 3 minutes, and it's just leaping. You throw in redstone, it's leaping for 8 minutes. Gunpowder, a splash potion of leaping, and dragon's breath, lingering potion of leaping. If you brew glowstone into the mix without redstone, because that's the price of it. Power over duration. You get leaping 2. Same thing for swiftness. You can easily get swiftness 2, health 2, or instant health 2, regeneration 2, strength 2, poison 2, and there's more like harming 2, and that's about it that I can remember off the top of my head. Oh, slowness 2, and that's about it. Ignore that. And that's what it is. However, keep in mind, it is power in sacrifice of duration. You try to make a, again, leaping potion of 2, you cannot make it any longer. It's only power. And it actually decreases the duration of the thing. So, yeah. And the ink sacs are what helps indicate that those potions are the only potions that are affected with the glowstone dust. And there we go. That's what I was trying to say. And 20 blocks of your choosing. Why 20 blocks of your choosing specifically? Again, we are dealing with water. Unless you want water spilling everywhere, it kind of helps to have blocks. For instance, you're going to need blocks for redstone power to power through and turn on the droppers. There is 10 for the potions on the bottom, 6 for the extra ingredients on top, 1 right here, that making 17, 18, 19, and 20 to hold this. Again, this is only for this specific design. If it wasn't for the extra things, the number would actually go up to 30, because you would need another 5 here and another 5 there. So it would go up to 30 blocks of your choosing. But again, specifically, buttons that also allow redstone. Blocks that allow redstone power to transfer. There we go. Next up, though, we also have the other thing that I was trying to mention. That is the actual extra bits, which is this. I'm the type of person who likes to make sure everything is filled up to the max, with the capability of making sure I don't have to go back and refill it every single time. And droppers, as useful as they are, they only have a stack of 9. And for anyone who has a large farm of any kind and has the ability to obtain all these resources in abundance of them at least, it's always cool to put a hopper and a barrel, specifically a barrel, not so much a chest, because then the chests will tie together, and barrels, it's just that storage, which helps out a lot. And well, that's just how that works, especially for this one here. When you put a hopper that connects into a brewing stand from the side, it will refill with blaze powder, which is exactly what powers up, well, this here. And of course, how to build the whole thing? Well, like I've been showing this whole time, it's a very, very simple design. It's super small. In fact, if we was to get rid of all the extra storage, I just realized this now, you don't even need an extra block, you just need a trapdoor, and you can make this very thin if you really wanted to. And it's just button, for the top row at least, button on dropper, and the bottom row button onto a block that transfers into a dropper. Now then, to show you an example, obviously to start off with any potion, and yes, you could do this without flying like I am, netherwort. You always need a netherwort to start off with the exception of weakness potions. With weakness potion, click on this button, and I think night vision was the one that had it. Yeah, that's one side effect. Night vision is what had ingredient. Press that button, make it longer, make it splash potion, and make it a lingering potion. And there you go. This thing is full. This thing is doing its thing. Oh, if it had water, bottles of water, and you're done, basically. And you can do whatever you need to do. for however long it takes for this potion to be finished. Come back later, and it'll be done eventually. And that is it. That is basically it for these things. Oh, wait, I forgot this thing and that thing. The lectern is actually, it's blank, sadly. But for anyone who just wants to make sure they don't have to keep looking it up on like a computer or a phone or anything like that over and over and over again, just just for people who know how to brew potions, but they always tend to forget a step, like me, I always forget that glowstone's a thing. Just write down your ingredients, or type down the ingredients, or just put down the instructions for this thing. Click on that for before you click on these, and the rest is pretty much self-explanatory. That's why these things are named the way they are. These things are just shortened out because, let's face it, not everyone wants to read Potion of Leaping constantly. And it looks like I failed everyone. Because it did not work. In fact, it was the complete opposite of working. But hey, it showed that it fills up cauldrons of water and lava. Because yes, it actually does do it with lava. But yeah, never mind. Debunked with that. Forget what I said about that thing. And ignore that. So, yeah, there you go. Semi-self-automated potion brewing stand-ish. That's a very long name. And, thank you everyone for joining me in this great adventure of Minecraft Lessons. There you go, that's what it's called. And I will see you all in the next episode. Goodbye.